America seems split into two different nations, according to a recent poll by The Atlantic and the Public Religion Research Institute. The poll appeared in a story in The Atlantic called "One Country, Two Radically Different Narratives." The poll reveals major differences in the way Republicans and Democrats view the trajectory of this country. For example, when asked if wealthy individuals and corporations were a problem for American democracy, 42% of Republicans said yes, compared to 82% of Democrats. 30% of Republicans believe America is on the wrong track versus 91% of Democrats. Meanwhile, when it came to the media, 81% of Republicans said it was a major problem for America's electoral system, compared to just 41% of Democrats. So are we living in a divided America? Let's ask our political panel. Reese Esq is an attorney and founder of Babes in the Workplace, and GOP strategist and defense attorney Ken Del Vecchio join us. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Reese and Ken, in that order, is America divided, and why?
Absolutely. Right now, we're seeing that the polls are very disparate as to, it depends on, where you stand. There's a line that's been drawn, and if you believe that, America Russia was involved in the election, then you side with the Democrats. If you believe that Russia was not involved in the election, then you side with the Republicans. It's all about this line that's been drawn, and people are standing and picking their sides on very opposite ends of the spectrum.
How about it, Ken?
Look, the propagandists in the mainstream media, the Hollywood boneheads, and the so-called academic elite have all joined together to try to manipulate and influence people's minds on a wide array of topics. If you want to talk about the most recent, it's complete lunacy what we've delved into with the summit in Russia and all the matters that are related to it. First of all, we've been out of the Cold War for over 30 years. There's no evidence in any way, shape, or form that Russia is an enemy of ours. Yes, we have some divergent views, but the country has more been allied with us than in any way in negativity, except for what these propagandists are trying to make us believe right now. And we're getting into something that's called a massive free speech slippery slope into the abyss that's completely dangerous. For example, I'm a big fan of Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel, but I have to admit that Barack Obama, when he made numerous statements trying to interfere with Netanyahu's election, he had every legal right to do so. And all the congressmen and U.S. senators and other elected officials that try to influence elections across the globe have an absolute legal right to do so. And these other nations that are trying to interfere with our elections, they have a legal right to do so unless they collude to commit a crime.
Right.
And that is the defining point.
Reese, how much do you think the results of this poll simply depend on who happens to be president?
Well, at the end of the day, right now, we're trying to, as an American people, decide if the person who was the president was properly elected as president. And if there is involvement in another country in our election that involves in them using technology to or releasing information to harm the candidates, then yes, that's an actual problem. That's an issue. And so, no, it doesn't just change sides based on who's elected. When you actually have a foreign nation get involved by releasing emails or putting out information that drastically changes how the candidates are viewed in their own country, it matters. So it's more, and it's interesting, the one thing I do always want to get to is, how is it that we can't have a civilized conversation without calling people boneheads and deteriorating into that and spiraling?
No. Let's get real here. Just because some Russians may have posted something on Facebook doesn't mean that people in the United States are so stupid that they're going to say, well, now I'm going to go vote for Hillary Clinton, or I'm going to go vote for Donald Trump.
Now, Ken, to Reese's point about technology, and I got 30 seconds, Twitter, Facebook, social media, the internet, the volume and velocity of the conversation is almost out of control. Are we really that angry?
Look, this is very simple here. If parties collude to commit a crime while they're trying to meddle in our elections, whether it's through social media or other advertising mechanisms, then they should be prosecuted. As far as the point of, do we have a big problem that things are so negative in social media? Things have been that way through the history of marketing and advertising, and there's just different mechanisms that people have used to try to manipulate people's minds. We got to live with it.
When you get
People
into
try to
calling
influence each other.
journalists the enemies of the American people, you're treading very dangerous ground. That's beyond propaganda.
And when the far left says that it's an act of war, like dropping bombs when people post things on the internet, that is complete insanity.
That's my
and
point.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, that's my point. I think overstatement deserves the conversation entirely. Thank you, Ken Del Vecchio and Reese Everson.
Thank you.